The second one is like a computer engineer. A computer engineer or software engineer will propose an app which will be carried by all the people all the time. And whenever they check in any restaurant or any mall, they will check in, and that application actually keep the record who has been like suspicious in terms of COVID-19, because when they check in, they measure the temperature as well. And at that time, this application will help in tracking the casual or serious contacts with other people who are COVID. So this is how a software engineer think in this way. Similarly, if you are a civil engineer, you will think like, okay, how we can create an environment in a building where maximum people can come, they attend the activity, but they should be protected in terms of COVID-19. So you will deploy maybe ultraviolet germicidal irradiation over there, that after every class, after every activity, there should be a germicidal irradiation automatically, so that the entire place is actually protected. So these are some of the solutions. See, COVID-19 is an issue. People have thought about it, people have proposed the solutions, but when you study, you think in a very different way. And this is all about the research. I hope the concept of research is clear to you all. But if again anyone has any query, you preserve the query with yourself and we'll discuss later on. So this is all about the research definition, which is quite famous. Let me just go with the thing that actually, second my statement, second my idea, that is research must continue to be the centerpiece of intellectual life. See, the people who are today here available in this entire session, you all are intellectual. Why? Because you are pursuing a robust top-notch degree from from the institutions, and you all are intellectual. We all have been created equally by God Almighty. So the only thing is we have to use our intelligence. And when we use intelligence for proposing any solution, that is research. So I may continue my statement, that is, research must continue to be the centerpiece of intellectual life, and our commitment to research must grow. See, this is not something that I hide from the society. No, research is something that you do for the betterment of the society. So you have collaboration, you have a team, so you share the resources. Let's suppose I'm a good programmer, so I provide my services for programming area. Someone is good in hardware assembling, so he will provide the hardware skills. So if anyone is like knowing something and he's not sharing, the research cannot grow. It will not be publicly available for the people. And the degree that we are pursuing right now, whether that is bachelor's, master's, or PhD, believe me, the main aim of your degree is not a paper. The main degree, see, I'm pursuing my PhD. PhD does not mean publications or publishing all the papers and everything. No, the degree that you are pursuing, whether it's bachelor's of engineering, master's of engineering, or master's of science, or PhD, or PhD, you all have to be, the real outcome of your PhD degree is you actually. So the research must grow in this scenario, so that our problems can be solved, because problems are increasing. No one never knew that COVID will happen, and it happened actually. So if we classify the research, see, my entire presentation is divided in two basic sections. One is when I'll discuss the research. Second, when I'll discuss the research as a career. So let me just go with the thing. First, when we are about to get admission in our university as a bachelor student, what we do? We do some experiments. We study the basics, the fundamentals, and over there we have been taught to build some of the projects, some of the things, and then we become the graduate student. And again, at the graduate student, we are continuing that particular process. Now, in between these two layers, many of the people actually jump in the industry and jump in academia. Both actually are jumping to get the get the, yeah, we have 25 minutes. Okay, no problem. We will close the session before that. Okay, so before this, actually, we some of the people jump in academia and some of the people jump in industry, but the intention is same. Intention is what? Intention to get the experience to of the experiments, of the activities that are that are going on in industry as well as in academia, but on another level. The people who are in industry, they actually get more experience. Why? Because they are working in a real environment. The people who are working in academia, they get the experience, but that is actually limited to prototyping or maybe somehow more, not as much advanced as the industry, but anyhow they are actually also getting the experience. So in this way they are actually polishing up their skills, their theoretical background that they have developed so far. And yeah, this is the area where they actually reach. So they start from undergraduate and graduate, and somehow people publish their work. Now undergraduate student and graduate students, they publish different sort of works. And it's not like that a person who is in industry is not publishing. Yeah, there are, mm, like I have seen many industrialists who are actually working in industry, having the experience, hands-on experience. They are going for the patents. Now what is patent? Patent means they suggested some design, and that design is actually now patent that no one can copy. So that is also a part of research. Research is not limited towards only papers. No, research means that you are proposing a design. This is also part of the thing. But now, as we are discussing the academia, people shift themselves as a staff scientist or postdoc. And again, now the level has been increased. Now they are working more in detail, and they are now in the phase where they actually hunt for the solutions. Undergraduate and graduate students, they actually strengthen their concepts and they publish somehow from their experience. But when they come in postdoc and stuff, now they are looking for the areas that are not open, that are open but they are not even they are unexplored. And once they are done with the postdoc and staff, they become principal investigator. Now their aim is to advance the particular area. So the particular area, for that they need the funding. So they become somehow a people who have the research background, means they have number of patents, number of publications, and then they hunt for some funding so that they can establish a small room or small lab or maybe a center depending upon the budget of the funding. And they start contributing in that particular area. And see, it's all because of one person who actually start walking, and then other people join hands in hands, and the small room or small lab that started initially will turn into a big center that is working for the humanity. There are thousands of examples for that. So this is actually a particular structure of a research oriented person who is really looking for research and research as a career for engineering. So this is a career path actually. And of course in entire journey he has to keep be responsible for the research ethics, the code and ethics of research. Research is not something that I have seen many people who compare themselves with others. The other people, they are publishing so many papers and they are not publishing, so they compare themselves with the other people and they say, okay, what we can do, we can just mold somehow their work. So they actually start following a bad path, which is plagiarism. So they actually quote the thing, and there are thousands of stories that witness that the outcome for plagiarism can never be good enough that they survive in the research community. And of course, when you are proposing something, it's not easy to publish. It should be the novel one, and people actually weight them in a technical a perspective. So now the research and how research is considered, what is research is completed. Now I would like to share one screenshot. I have mentioned the link also. This is one of the website that is actually Indeed, and you can see that research job searches per 1 million searches on Indeed. So these are the things, somewhere you will be invited as a research analyst, somewhere research scientist, or maybe the research associate, and you have to perform the research. But of course, for this, your degree only cannot be enough. You must have some research experience. How research experience? What do you mean by research experience? You have done something good enough in your life, like you have some particular topic that you have covered before in a project or in a team. So that would actually make you more comfortable, and if you have some collaborations around the globe, then it would be very better to put you in the list of those people who really want to work with you. So what do you mean by life of researcher? What they actually do apart from getting degree? They actually are focused on some sort of project. They collect, or they do the experiments, and then they develop the relations. See, this is completely new thing. You have to propose something based on your theoretical ground. So of course you put the theory in front of you, and then you perform some experiments, you come on a conclusion, you draw some facts and figures, and then you provide a solution. And the solution should meet the scarcity, the demand and supply game of the market, maybe. And you provide something that is actually the solution oriented, like the COVID-19 is a problem. You provide something that makes people's life easy. And then the most important thing is you work in a team, and you are always kind of a person who think on any problem in a critical way. So I'll give you one example of data science. This is one of the picture that I thought that it's quite easy to explain you people. So this is one of the years that how actually data science has got the boom in today's market. It was started in somewhere in 1950s, and now people are doing wonders in this particular field. So I'll not define what is data science. I'm bad in that. I'm a control person. But since many people are interested in data science, that's why I just initiated that, how it started and how it is going towards. The idea is very clear. Why? Because I put this image to discuss this thing actually. If you're a machine learning engineer, you have something with your machine learning, you have done some small projects. You can go to different fields. You can become a data analyst, you can become a business analyst, you can become marketing analyst. So see, learning, the machine learning will not only put you to do some 9 to 5 job. No, it will also enhance your skill to become someday a data analyst, to someday you become business analyst. And apart from that, this is all because of research. Machine learning is not only because of programming. No, machine learning is also because of the statistical methods, the equations, how you understand them, and how you relate them to the topic to topic or problem to problem. So this is somehow research. You identify a graph and then you correlate the results. So this is all about the research. And then if you are good enough in these activities, then you can go to different positions in your society, in your circle. Okay, so it is again related to the data science, but yeah, if you are a control person like me, you will need more additional skills. Like you need somehow control system, how you design the control system. If you are a robotics engineer, you must know Jacobian, you must know a DH representatives. So you must be you must be aware of those things. And today, doing research in particular area does not only limited to reading. No, you have to drive some solution, some software simulation. So you must be good enough in simulation softwares. And yeah, a researcher must be an eloquent speaker. If you have the knowledge, if you have acquired something, if you got any outcome, and if you cannot communicate, cannot deliver, you cannot represent that those graphs and those results, then you can see the worth of your work may be distorted because you cannot represent them. So it's very mandatory that you must have some communication skills to convey your things. So these are the tools and kits that really needed for a good researcher. So yeah, again, you must be curious about the things, what, why, and how, and you must think quickly that okay, if I'll do this thing, then maybe this outcome will come. So you must be good enough in happiness, in developing the happiness. You must I think someone has turned on the microphone, I guess. A humble request, if you can turn off your microphone. Thank you. So you must be analytical for in terms of thinking. You must have patience. Yeah, this is the most important thing. See, educated person, a researcher, I'll again say that the outcome of your degree is not the papers. The outcome of your degree is you yourself. So I think if you can digest the criticism, wonderful thing it is. You have to show patience if someone is if someone is highlighting the mistakes, if criticizing on your research work, you must digest those things and try to communicate in a way that you agree the counterparty. If you cannot do this thing, then I think that you are not good researcher, because you cannot accept the criticism. And the same thing goes with our research. When we publish any work, during our review we get very harsh comments from the reviewers. We get somehow a critical review comments, and then if you are patient enough, and of course these comments are for your research can be enhanced, because those people are the top notch in in that particular field. They are the father of that field. They have the huge experience which are actually reviewing your work. So you must accept their review comments and then try to answer them. And even if you are in a conference, in a session where you are presenting your work and people are commenting on it, you have to answer it in a beautiful way. You, of course, research, you cannot continue if you don't have enough knowledge about the subject. You don't know about the basic. So, and this is why people do literature review for a long time. If you see any project, and if you see the timeline, the Gantt chart, people, what we say, spend a lot of time in reading. If someone says that I'm a researcher and he does not like reading in between the lines, I must say, reading does not mean you are reading a book. No, reading means you are reading. Sorry, you are reading in between the lines. You are understanding the graphs. You are understanding the pictures. You are understanding each and everything, and then you are drawing out the limitations of the work. You're drawing out the constraints of the work. This is something that I really want to state. And then you design a systematic approach to convey the things in a very beautiful way. And then when the constraints are in front of you, when the limitations are in front of you, then you can easily identify the objectives, that okay, my research objectives are this way. So these are the skills required the for being a good researcher. So research career journey. See, research career journey is somehow has two phases. One phase is that one where you struggle. You strive hard for experiments. You strive hard for simulations. You strive hard for experiments. And once you are the boss of that particular field, then you move to build your career. How you build the career? You go for hunting the grants. When you have the fundings, you establish a center. When you have established the center, you will work more. And then someday, government and the people will acknowledge your work. And maybe you become the policy maker for any of the countries that, okay, you may get this opportunity. And I have witnessed that people Later on, when they become full prof and they get the enough publications and patents and contributions, they become somehow started contributing in their country's prosperity. So this is the journey, and I have a very beautiful video for that I would like to share now. This video will, class actually convey the entire journey, a career journey of a researcher in a very simple way. And before I go further for this video, I must say that many people, they actually get bachelor's degree and then they hunt for industrial job. And unfortunately, when they cannot achieve any industrial job, they come in the academics. And when they come in academics, many of the people don't have interest in teaching. Many of the people don't have interest in research. So they just uh, came in teaching and research by fate, by fortune, not by choice. So I must say that doing research for me is something. If you ask me why research for me is important, because as a robotics engineer, as a control system engineer, I really want to contribute in the field of robotics. I want to be in the list of those humble scientists and researchers, where people, if search for aerial vehicles or ground vehicles, my article should contribute and make become a facility for them to achieve something. So this is my aim. And now as a career, I can work in different centers where I can earn a good handsome amount, and I can make my name more visible and vibrant in front of others. So let's witness the video in front of you. And the entire research career journey is shown. what Isaac Newton said, and I quote, "If I have seen further, it is only by standing on the shoulder of giants." So we, the researchers, are the elite community of any society. Why? Because we think for the betterment of the society. We propose such sort of solutions that later on become or facilitate the community, the society. So yeah, this is all about the research, and this video is actually by Skywell, and somewhere elsewhere a name is used. So I have cited these things in the references of my slide. And this video actually summarizes the entire research career journey in a very beautiful way. And if you are looking for the same journey, you have to start in the same way. Maybe the researchers that collaborate with you, maybe within the Nigeria or Malaysia or within the country, and later you collaborate with the international people or foreign people, and in this way your research will get a boost, and you will start publishing from a small thing to a big thing. And I have witnessed, for my many seniors who actually started work from a single lab, and the concept was actually discussed in a cafeteria, and that concept actually become, was published in world's quality journals. So this is how people do the work. So things to do first are just in front of you. You have to choose your research area wisely, and then for you have to do the collaboration. For that purpose, IEEE UTP student branch and we people from University Technology Patronus, our specifically our IEEE student club, we are delighted to work on, and I have many friends from other IEEE chapters, like Nirmal Mathur is from Signal Processing Chapter, and I'm from Robotics and Automation Society chapter, so we can collaborate with you. Once we grab any grant or any funding, then we start working together, and then we of course publish good works. See, research is not limited to only publication. If the solution is something that can be turned into a prototype or maybe into a product, that is known as commercialization. And this can be done once our research has some good results, and it's feasible to stay in the market. So, and of course, if you are starting your career, you must be available on these social platforms, that is I mentioned LinkedIn, Google Scholar, and SearchGate. uh, I hereby open the floor for question and answers. And in the meanwhile, this is me, Ghulam Mustafa Abdo. I'm actually graduate research assistant. My Facebook link and LinkedIn is here. I mentioned Facebook because many of the people are available on Facebook as well. So for social interaction and maybe for mutual collaborations, you can pursue me on both of the networks. Okay. Thank you. This is all from my side. Now I open the floor for question and answers.
Yeah, thank you very much. Honestly, I believe the video did more like a summary of all we wanted to hear. And honestly, I think a lot of us here have gotten a clip, an idea of how we can start our careers as researchers, and you've made us understand that researching is not just writing. It goes a long way. It's a journey, it's a career journey. And one thing that really struck out is communication. You made mention of having a communication skill, being able to speak about what you're writing, and also how to take criticism from reviewers. And also, you also made mention about collaboration, teamwork, get a team. And especially for the students, I believe some of them might not really understand how to go about all this. And if you have questions, after it will allow our speaker to rest a bit, so that is our second speaker available, so that I can come up, confirm if he's around, so that I can come up. All these questions will be taken together. All your questions will be answered before we end, so that we can take all of them together. Mr. Abro, please, is the second speaker